News dropping all over the place. We got midnight news, retail news, all kinds of interesting things, and maybe the return of a historic mount. That's right. Let's jump straight in here. Legion Remix time-running character conversions disabled. That's because you guys are degens. Evidently, people were breaking the game by converting over their Legion Remix characters and then running through, like, Mythic Demancius or something. I don't know what was going on. Maybe you guys know better than me. But there was some breakage going on with the conversion of Legion Remix characters over to retail. I don't know how or what they were doing, but Blizzard has temporarily disabled your ability to convert your Legion Remix characters over to retail. So we'll see when this gets re-enabled. Blizzard did say they are going to re-enable it, but first they got to fix whatever the bug or exploit is that people were doing. Typically, Blizzard doesn't like to say what the bug or exploit was because they don't want people jumping on it or doing it later on. But yeah, something messed up and people got stuff. Someone got cutting edge with 600% verse. That's what it was, Pentix. I saw that it had to do something with cutting edge or raiding, killing Demancius with broken characters that had come over from Legion Remix. So there you go. Thank you, Pentix, for letting us know. So that has been disabled, will be re-enabled once Blizzard finally fixes it. Actually freaking hilarious. The return of the Long Boy. That's right, guys. If you missed your chance to buy the $90 mount, maybe you got $90 laying around you want to spend on a mount, well, you might get your chance because it looks like the data miners have discovered that something titled the Catalog Shop-wide card Brutosaur Comeback has been uploaded into the system. Now, this hasn't been enabled by Blizzard just yet, but we could be seeing the return of the Brutosaur. That's right. Now, the Brutosaur was previously released on the 20th anniversary, which was put onto the shop on December 20th of 2024. We're approaching December again, right? So we're approaching that anniversary time period again, you know, November to December timeline. We could be seeing the return of the Brutosaur again for the 21st anniversary, maybe. Hey, maybe you get a maybe it's $89.99 this time instead of $90. I don't know. I think it actually was that price. We could be seeing that. I had mentioned previously, if you guys remember, there was the cinematic where the Mushroom Long Boy comes up in midnight, and I was like, oh, there it is, boys, the next Long Boy mount. That could be it. Well, it looks like we're probably going to get back the same Long Boy that we had before. What else could they add as vendors on these things to make them more enticing? I mean, the auction house and the mailbox honestly can't be beat. If they added some other sort of Brutosaur or Long Boy mount to the store eventually, I think the only thing that would entice people is maybe adding a summoning stone on top of this thing, like literally making it a mobile summoning stone. I think that would be worth $90, actually. Being able to just summon an entire raid or group wherever, whenever. Oh, man, that would be a nice little add-on to one of these mounts. But it looks like this one is going to be the actual return of the Brutosaur that we already had in-game. And we'll see, you know, again, if it comes back every single anniversary or just this anniversary. We'll have to see. Summon a real DK tank. There you go, Tidewell. Yeah, exactly. Also, in Midnight, it looks like we're going to be separated by Alliance and Horde when it comes to our vault. That's right, your Great Vault of Disappointment will now only be shared with your perspective factions, or your respective faction, I should say. So in the latest Midnight Alpha build, it looks like people have spotted the vault finally in Silver Moon City, the great vault that will be opening every week. But it looks like, again, they're divided by Horde and Alliance. So you see right here, the Horde version, a nice little, regal vault here. And then the Alliance version, I should say. This is the Alliance version, I guess, with the blue diamond. And this is the Horde version with the red one. So there you go. You're going to be divided up, Horde and Alliance, opening up separate vaults every day. Now, where these are, I can't exactly tell. It doesn't say in the article. But maybe the Horde one is in the non-neutral part of the city, whereas the Alliance one would obviously be in the neutral part of the city. Now, again, I would preface this by saying, Horde, you are not safe, okay, in your little faction-locked part of your city, because Samiccus is coming to town. That's right. My plan is to form up again a 40-man raid and push into the deepest parts of the Horde territories within Silver Moon City. If you don't like it, too bad. That's my plan. We've already discovered that the guards, if you in fact try to enter the Horde part of the city as an Alliance character, you're not going to get ported out like you do in Dalaran or something. No, the guards will actually fight you to the death. And my plan is to kill them all and push as deep as I can into that section of the city. So we'll see if that happens. But there you go. Your great vaults every day will be shared only with your faction. Moving on to new tier set tokens. That's right, we have the new tier set tokens data mine, and it looks like Blizzard's flipped around some of the classes that will be sharing specific tokens. So whereas before we've seen the tokens that you get separated by class popularity, Blizzard's tried to kind of split it out to try to even out and parse out who's gonna have the most people running in a specific class. So say there's a lot of paladins, they try to add that with, say, maybe evokers on the same token because there's less evokers in the game, to try to even out the amount of people rolling on every single token. Well, right now, the way it's, at least right now, the way it's data mined, these tokens are just going to be based on type of armor. So right now you got Priest, Mage, Warlock on the cloth set, Rogue, Monk, Druid, Demon Hunter on the leather set, Hunter, Shaman, Evoker on the mail, and then Warrior, Paladin, Death Knight on the plate. So that's an interesting one. Again, it might not stay this way. This might just be like the default, but that's how it is. The Horde is trembling. Yeah, they should be. So Blizzard's decision to split it up on armor type seems to be a first here based on what you guys are telling me from chat. Again, I know I've rolled on tokens where I have other armor type people in there, but I'm not sure if Blizzard's ever actually gone with just the armor type style of rolling. So this will be a new one for us. We'll see how this actually plays out. Ah, damn it. Like, now I'm stuck with Paladins, though, and there's so many of them. There's going to be so many fucking people rolling on this shit. I believe we're currently with Paladins anyways, but I prefer to just not be with freaking Paladins on the same token. But there it is on that one. All right, moving on to Void Elf Transmogs. That's right, we got Void Elf Transmogs going down, and we've actually looked at some of these. These are the open world sets out here for Midnight. We've looked at some of these, but previously we didn't see them with all the animations tied to them and these different colorways. So for cloth armor, we did see this one where you got kind of these void-esque wings hanging off the back. These are cool. Obviously, the purple colorway will be the most voidy looking one of them all. But we also saw new animations for the leather sets. So look at this. We got a glow coming off the shoulders. These sets are actually pretty detailed. I would say since Dragonflight, Blizzard's been adding some really detailed open world sets into the game, more so than we've ever previously seen. If you guys remember in the old days, open world sets really just looked like NPC sets. Like, they were nothing for the most part. These open world sets look highly detailed, pretty cool and intricate, and maybe worthy of getting for some of your transmogs out there. If we look here at the male armor set, if you guys have seen any of these sets data mined before, always the ponytail sticks out like a fucking... it's rock hard. What else can I say? It's very excited to see you. Well, typically this is going to drop down, obviously, when you're playing in game, and it'll, you know, flail around with animation and everything. So this is a cool looking armor set as well. That's the animation there. And then the plate armor set has a really cool animation we hadn't previously seen. We got voidy spikes coming out the shoulders. Previously, when we looked at this set, I don't believe we had the spikes on there. So this is a really cool add-in. I love this white and blue armor way. This is really cool. Not sure which colorways are going to be in for the open world, how we're going to get each set. But there you go, some cool looking open world sets if you want to look like a Void Elf. Also, you got your different weapons attached to that as well, some different cool looking ones here. This one kind of looks like the Xalatat dagger, honestly. Yep, voidy looking shit. If you want more voidy looking shit, this is going to be your expansion. Obviously, really cool stuff to be had. And all open world, so pretty cool. Besides that, let's look at the numbers, boys. We got current numbers breakdown for week 11, Mythic plus tuning and everything else going down. Are people still playing retail? The answer is yes, actually. A little bit of an increase this week. Let's look at these numbers and see how it's all going down here. So right now, if you look at this, if you want to determine what the meta is, okay, your current meta, look at the high-end keys and see what most people are running. Right now, on the meta side of things, most people are running with a Frost DK, a Beast Mastery Hunter, you got your Restoration Druid, your Havoc Demon Hunter, and your Prop Paladin as a tank. People are also bringing Resto Shaman, so that's kind of your alternate healer there with Resto Druid. And then you work in your Paladins, your Mages, and everything else here. But there's your 5-man typical that you're seeing at the highest level of keys. Again, you typically see the meta showing up more as you go down into the deeper and higher level keys. Still, this hasn't changed, honestly, all season, I think. Eco Domo Eldani, the highest and most run key, and then you got Arakara as your least run and most failed key. Honestly, Floodgate, too, is failing a lot. I don't know, people just don't know how to do mechanics in those fights, because Floodgate does have some, a bit more complicated boss fights. The most popular keys right now, plus 10 and plus 12, taking a massive jump up here, probably because most people at this point have Keystone Master, and they're going for that second higher level achievement to get the mount. So there you go, plus 12s across the board. People running a lot of that. Looking at the weeks, right, in terms of popularity, we saw after week 8 a massive drop-off because of Legion Remix. Everybody going in there, playing their Remix characters, so less people doing runs on retail. But we saw the power up, or I should say, what is it, turbo boost event go live, right? So even though we saw a little downtick again in 10 and week 10, we saw a little uptick in week 11. There you go. More people doing some turbo boost content, trying to get them item levels up. In reality, getting your item level up at the end of an expansion is kind of pointless. But it's fun to go OP and get extra power at the end, I guess. So there you go. Week 11, a little bit of an uptick from week 10. Besides that, Legion Remix numbers also kind of down. I guess that makes sense, right? As you see the kind of people return to the regular retail side of things, you're going to see people starting to leave the Legion Remix side of things. So week 2 was an all-time high for Legion Remix. Makes sense. A lot of people were hitting cap level at that time in the second week, starting to do their Mythic Plus runs and then transferring their alts over to retail. Week 3 seeing a little bit of downtick. Week 4 is still TBD. This is only 2 days in this here, so you got to take this one with a grain of salt. This one will fill up more as the week continues on. Besides that, looking at the overall numbers right now for rating, okay, let's see our DPS rating for Mythic Mana Forged Omega week 11. People will come back to Remix when the new zone and raid opens. Exactly, yeah, every week you get the new zone, raid patch, all that shit. So yeah, we'll get more Legion Remix stuff surely when we get the final patch with everything else happening, you know, opening up of, God, what's the fucking world that you get at the end of Legion? You know, people will go in and start doing that shit. So you get that open world content. Obviously, all the other raid content too. I'm sorry, Garrus, everything coming back. So people will be running that shit when it opens up. But yes, a little bit of a downtick right now. And looking at the DPS overall, speaking of rating, overall damage, currently in the lead, Elemental Shaman. We saw this last week too. Arcane Mage following up behind him. And then I think this was some movement here. Beast Mastery Hunter and Marksmanship Hunter sitting there in positions 3 and 4, so 2 Hunter specs sitting there in the top 4. Ass Rogue, Frost DK, Furry Warriors, Destro Warlocks, Fire Mages there, rounding out your top boys. And then at the bottom here, we got Arms Warrior, Outlaw Rogue, Enhancement Shaman, Frost Mage, and Warlocks. Look at that. Besides Destro Warlock, the other 2 specs for overall damage, not doing very good. So there you go. Looking at single target damage, though, Fire Mage currently taking the lead. Fire Mage really pumping hard on single target. Ass Rogue, Beast Mastery Hunter just behind them. Arcane Mage, Balanced Druid, Marksmanship Hunter, and Feral Druid. Right now, Elemental Shaman still doing good on single target, but overall damage, they're doing much better. And then at the bottom here, some of the same people we've been seeing for quite a while. Outlaw Rogue, Arms Warrior, Enhancement Shaman, Devastation Evoker, Frost Mage, Havoc Demon Hunter, Shadow Priest. Now having a great time right now. Retribution Paladin sitting kind of in the middle on both of these charts here. If we look at the biggest movers up and down heading into these final weeks, Survival Hunter up 6 spots actually. Still kind of low on the chart, sitting there at the position 20, but up 6 spots. That's quite a lot. Up 4, I knew it. Seeing Marksmanship Hunter up there was new. Yeah, they were up 4 spots from the last time we looked at these charts. Elemental and Arcane have held their own here at the top, not moving at all. Biggest mover down, 3 spots down for Fire Mage on the overall damage, but we just saw single target. They're doing very, very good. And actually, the even bigger of a mover down, Outlaw Rogue down 5 spots here. I don't know what happened with Outlaw, what they changed for them to drop that far. Not much movement. You're not going to see a lot. Obviously, tons of class changes on Alpha right now. We've seen probably some of the biggest sets of class changes we've seen in the game in quite a while. So all this shit's going to be flipped around, mixed around, and everywhere once midnight actually hits, or once pre-patch probably hits, because that's when we'll see the class changes implemented. And we'll report on all that when it happens. But for now, that is all in terms of news.